In the summer of 1942, the United States was on high alert. Just months after the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Pacific coast was under constant surveillance. Military officials feared enemy submarines lurking offshore, and every aircraft assigned to coastal patrol carried an important responsibility. On the morning of August 16th, a small U.S. Navy blimp lifted off from an air station near San Francisco. Its mission was simple: patrol the coastline, look for enemy submarines, return home. Instead, the blimp would become the center of one of aviation's strangest mysteries.
The blimp, designated L-8, carried only 2 crew members. The pilot was Ernest Cody. Alongside him was Charles Ellis Adams. Both men were experienced Navy personnel. The weather was good. The aircraft was in proper condition. Nothing suggested the patrol would be anything other than routine.
Several hours into the flight, the crew reported spotting what appeared to be an oil slick in the ocean. At the time, such slicks were considered possible evidence of enemy submarine activity. The crew investigated the area and prepared to examine it more closely. Then, radio contact suddenly stopped. No distress call. No emergency message. Only silence. Ground controllers attempted to reach the blimp repeatedly. There was no reply.
Later that morning, people along the California coast noticed something unusual. A Navy blimp was drifting inland at low altitude. It seemed to be flying aimlessly. Witnesses reported that no one appeared to be controlling it. The aircraft continued drifting across neighborhoods before descending. Its landing was anything but graceful. The blimp struck telephone lines, bounced across rooftops, and finally came to rest in the streets of Daly City, south of San Francisco. Miraculously, no one on the ground was seriously injured. But what investigators found inside was astonishing.
When Navy personnel reached the aircraft, they expected to rescue the crew. Instead, the gondola was empty. Both men had disappeared. There were no bodies, no signs of violence, no evidence of a struggle. The parachutes were still on board. Life jackets remained inside. The radio was operational. The engines still functioned. Even the crew's personal belongings had been left behind. It was as though the 2 men had simply vanished into thin air.
The Navy immediately launched an extensive investigation. Aircraft searched the ocean. Ships combed the coastline. Divers examined nearby waters. No trace of either crew member was ever found. The blimp itself showed surprisingly little damage. There was no evidence of enemy attack. No bullet holes. No explosion. No mechanical failure serious enough to explain the disappearance. The mystery only deepened.
Investigators considered several possibilities. One theory suggested one crew member accidentally fell overboard while inspecting the suspected oil slick. The second crewman may have attempted a rescue and also fallen into the ocean. This explanation became one of the Navy's leading theories because the blimp could continue flying for some time without active control. However, no bodies were ever recovered, and neither man's parachute had been used.
Over the years, more unusual explanations emerged. Some speculated about enemy submarines. Others suggested espionage or sabotage during World War II. More imaginative theories even proposed paranormal events or extraterrestrial involvement. Despite these stories, investigators found no credible evidence supporting sabotage, enemy action, or supernatural causes. The available evidence has never conclusively confirmed any of these ideas.
The Ghost Blimp incident remains fascinating because almost everything about the aircraft seemed normal. It was still flying. Its engines worked. The controls were functional. The emergency equipment remained untouched. Only the crew was missing. It created an unsettling image. An aircraft returning safely from patrol, without the people who had been flying it.
The U.S. Navy never solved the case with certainty. The most widely accepted explanation is that an accidental fall into the ocean led to the disappearance of both crew members. But because no physical evidence ever confirmed exactly what happened, the incident remains officially unresolved. There is no definitive proof explaining the final moments of Ernest, Cody, and Charles Adams.
More than 80 years later, the story of L8 continues to intrigue historians and aviation enthusiasts. A routine patrol, a silent radio, an empty cockpit, a blimp drifting peacefully over California, as if waiting for pilots who would never return. The aircraft came home. Its crew never did. And somewhere beneath the waters of the Pacific, or hidden forever in history, the final chapter of the Ghost Blimp incident remains unwritten.